Your journey begins before sunrise on a cold training range. Steel targets stand hundreds of meters away across an empty field, barely visible through the morning fog. An instructor opens a long rifle case and places a precision rifle on the table in front of you. It's heavier than any weapon you've handled before. The scope alone costs more than a small car. He tells you one thing: from now on, this rifle is your responsibility. You lie prone on the shooting mat and look through the scope for the first time. The target appears small, almost unreal. Every small movement of your breathing shakes the crosshair across the target. You take your first shot. The bullet misses by several meters. The instructor doesn't criticize you. He simply tells you to shoot again. You spend the entire day repeating the same process, adjusting the scope, recording distances, writing wind speed and temperature in a small notebook. Your shoulder begins to ache from the recoil, but the routine never stops. By the end of the day, only a few of your shots hit the outer rings of the target, but the instructor checks the target carefully and nods. That single nod means something important. You are still in the program. Training quickly becomes routine. Every day starts before dawn with a long run, followed by rifle maintenance and hours of shooting practice. The targets gradually move farther away as your skills improve. First 400 meters, then 600, then nearly a kilometer. You begin to understand that sniper training isn't really about shooting. It's about mathematics and patience. Every shot requires calculation. Bullet drop, wind speed, temperature, altitude. Each factor changes the trajectory of the bullet. You learn to read the environment like a scientist. A moving blade of grass tells you wind direction. Heat rising from the ground distorts the image in the scope. Even your own heartbeat can move the crosshair. Your instructor teaches you breathing control. You inhale slowly, exhale halfway, and hold the breath just long enough to squeeze the trigger. Gradually, your shots begin landing closer to the center. Soon the focus of training shifts away from shooting. Now the instructors want to know if you can stay invisible. You are given a ghillie suit made from fabric strips and natural vegetation. Once you put it on, you look more like a bush than a soldier. The suit is hot, heavy, and uncomfortable, but it hides your outline completely. Your task is simple: reach a firing position 500 meters away without being detected. Several instructors watch the field through binoculars. If they see you moving, the exercise ends immediately. You begin crawling through tall grass, moving 1 centimeter at a time. Hours pass. Your arms ache. Dirt fills your gloves. Insects crawl across your face. You stop moving whenever the wind changes or when someone scans the field. After 4 hours, you finally reach a small ridge overlooking the target. You slowly assemble the rifle, careful not to expose any movement. Through the scope, you see the steel plate waiting in the distance. You fire once. The plate rings loudly across the field. Only then do the instructors realize where you were hiding. At this stage, you are assigned a spotter. From now on, you never operate alone. The sniper and the spotter function as a 2-person team. Your partner carries a spotting scope and a laser rangefinder. While you focus on the rifle, the spotter calculates distances, monitors wind conditions, and observes the bullet's impact. Communication between the two of you becomes precise and efficient. The spotter whispers numbers and corrections while you adjust the scope. Range, 720 meters. Wind left, 2 clicks up. You fire. The spotter immediately reports where the bullet landed and tells you how to correct the next shot. Within seconds, you adjust the rifle and fire again. When the target rings, both of you know the system is working. After graduation, you are assigned to a reconnaissance unit. Your first missions involve observation rather than combat. You spend long hours watching enemy territory through your scope. documenting movement patterns and reporting positions of vehicles and patrols. Sometimes you lie in the same position for an entire day without firing a single shot. Eventually, your commander gives you your first real order. Take the shot. An enemy machine gun position has been discovered at 620 meters. Your team lies hidden on a ridge overlooking the valley. You calculate the distance and wind. The crosshair rests on the target. You squeeze the trigger. The machine gun falls silent. Within seconds, your team relocates to avoid detection. The battlefield changes when your unit deploys to a large city. Urban sniping requires completely different tactics. Buildings block wind patterns. Sound echoes unpredictably. Every rooftop becomes both a firing position and a potential trap. You and your spotter move quietly through abandoned structures and broken staircases. Sometimes you crawl across rooftops to reach a position with a clear line of sight. Your target appears in an intersection several blocks away. The distance is shorter than mountain engagements, but the environment is far more complex. You take the shot. The moment the rifle fires, your team begins moving again. In urban combat, a sniper who stays in one place too long becomes an easy target. As your experience grows, your mission changes. Instead of supporting troops, you are now tasked with hunting enemy snipers. This is one of the most dangerous roles in warfare. Both sides are hidden. Both sides are searching for the smallest sign of movement. You scan windows, rooftops, and shadows through your scope, while your spotter watches for reflections of glass or metal. Eventually, your partner notices something unusual. A slight movement behind a distant window. You prepare the shot. You wait patiently for the enemy sniper to expose himself. When the silhouette finally appears, you fire immediately. The window shatters outward. The threat is gone before the enemy ever pulls the trigger. Years of training and combat experience eventually lead to one of the longest shots of your career. Your unit is positioned high in the mountains, overlooking a narrow valley. Enemy forces control a road below, blocking the advance of friendly troops. Your sniper team climbs to a rocky ridge before dawn. Your spotter measures the distance, 1,480 meters. At that range, the bullet will travel for several seconds before reaching the target. Wind conditions shift constantly across the valley. You carefully calculate elevation and wind drift. Your scope adjustments take several rotations. Then you wait. The wind briefly calms. You fire. Several seconds later, the machine gun position below falls silent. The path through the valley is clear. After years of service, you return to the training school as an instructor. New recruits arrive every month, nervous and inexperienced. You watch them miss their targets, just as you once did. You teach them the same lessons your instructor taught you: patience, discipline, and precision. During one demonstration, you show them a long-distance shot across the training valley. The recruits watch closely as you calculate the shot. You fire once. The steel plate rings. The students stare in disbelief, but you simply close the bolt and step away from the rifle. For you, it's just another calculation. Eventually, your career becomes part of military history. Your shot logs are stored at the sniper school, where new trainees study them. Your notebooks contain detailed records of every mission. One rifle in the training hall is placed behind glass. It's the rifle you carried for most of your career. A metal plate beneath it displays your name and the longest confirmed shot you ever made. Students stop and read the record before entering the range. Then they step outside, lie down behind their rifles, and fire their first shots. Most of them miss, but every legendary marksman starts exactly the same way, with one missed shot, and the command to try again.